Of enrichment programs to youth of all ages, all grades, from first grade all the way up to 12th grade. And we're really here to be a safe space for the youth, not just here in the city, but really any youth that are here in Lancaster County. I would say the biggest impact that COVID has made for the mix, again, is probably just on the mental and the trauma that I've seen our kids really experience. And although there was a lot of trauma and there was a lot of, mental health issues that were exposed throughout the whole, COVID season, I think our kids have shown a lot of resiliency through it. Just having to, go to school virtually basically all year. They've had to, basically navigate through some of the toughest times that they've ever had to navigate through in their lives. None of us have ever lived through a global pandemic, and just to see the effect that this virus and this pandemic has had on our children has been really tough. But on the flip side of that, it's also shown us that we can be more resilient than we think we can be in any given moment. So one of the biggest pivots that we had to make in the last year was when our local school district of Lancaster, decided that they were going to be virtual all school year. We made the decision pretty quickly to pivot and shift all of our programming. So when we typically would just provide after-school programming, we actually opened up our doors and provided a space where parents could bring their kids all day long, just like a school. So we were here from 7 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon, providing a safe space where our kids could come. Our families knew that their kids were safe. And while they were here, our staff were able to kind of meet the needs that were arising every day. And they weren't just academic needs, they were on the social, emotional end of the spectrum as well. So for me personally, I think COVID has exposed a lot of trauma. Again, I've experienced loss in my own family, and it's just kind of created this space where trauma has just really been highlighted and exposed, not just for me personally, but just seeing that in the people that I'm close to. So I got vaccinated in May of this year, and I decided to finally get vaccinated because although it was a personal decision for me, something I learned a long time ago is that it's not about me, and that, I made but for my family, for my community, for the kids that I serve every single day who unfortunately are not able to get the vaccine. And so it was really important for me to be able to set that example. And although there was some hesitancy at first, but I think making that decision was a very good decision. And I would encourage, anyone to do the same. I think it just all goes back to resiliency. Again, I think we learned so much about ourselves individually and collectively as a community, what we are really capable of doing when we work together for the good of others, really. And when it boils down to it, it's about looking out for one another. And, when we experience adversity, when we go through tough times, when we go through difficult seasons, it really, is an opportunity for us to just come together and look out for one another.
Good morning. Wake up, guys. It's TCP in the morning.
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up. It's TCP in the morning.
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 It's TCP in the morning. It's TCP in the morning.
TCP in the morning.
It's 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 TCP in the morning.
Good morning. Wake up, y'all. It's TCP in the morning with the morning tea.
Sing the song here in a minute.
TCP in the morning.
Wake up. It's TCP in the morning.
Good morning, y'all.
Wake up.
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up!
Wake up, y'all.
Wake up.
Wake up. It's TCP in the morning.
TCP in the morning. Let's go.
It's TCP in the morning.
TCP in the morning.
It's 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 TCP in the morning. You don't want to miss this.
Wake up. It's TCP in the morning. Woo!
Got the mic on, yeah.
Hey, girl is fading away from me. Hey, cause your touch had grown cold. Hey, as if someone else, hey, control your very soul. I fooled myself long as I can feel the presence of another man.
Go ahead.
It's when you speak my name, it's just not the same. Woo, baby, I'm losing you. Hey, good morning, everyone. Wake up, brush your teeth, brush your ass. How is everyone doing this morning? IG, what's up? We're here. Sarge, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm rocking. This kind of music puts you in the mood.
Yeah.
All these.
Yeah.
It's that. I want to do a spin. I want to bring it up here. Take it down.
Hey.
How y'all doing? What up? Happy Tuesday, y'all. Tantalizing time. First day of Black History Month.
Hey.
What up, Mr. I'm flexing on them all month, baby. All my life. Well, listen, let's go, yo. Hope y'all ready for this show. Let's do it.
Lady L, what up?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to TCP in the morning. Happy Black History Month. I don't know if you can see my desk. My desk is ultra black today. And don't forget, I got my black formation for you guys this morning. I'm super excited. Listen, if you're on IG, if you're on Facebook, go on ahead, share the stream. We're actually going to be giving away some tickets to the Wear Center, so you're going to want to stay tuned to find out how to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Wear Center for this Black History Month giveaway, you guys. Whoop-de-whoop!
Hey, let's go.
Yes, folks, want to welcome you to the show. My name is Marquise Lupton, also known as DJ Quiet Storm.
DJ Quiet Storm.
One of 3 hosts, one of 4 personalities on this thing we call TCP in the morning. The best thing that you can have in your cup. Hey, there it is. Well. Hey,
let's go.
Welcome to the show. Like we already said, welcome to the show. One of 3 hosts, one of 4 personalities on this thing we call TCP in the AM, the morning. However you want it, however you like it. Whether you need it, whether you want it, we give it to you any kind of way you like it. Let's not forget about the man behind the veil, DJ Double O. What up, cuz?
Calling, man. Glad to be here as always. It's a beautiful Tuesday. It's about to be a little unseasonably warm today.
Right.
I suggest you get your butt outside and get some of that good air.
Right.
You've been breathing that recycled air for like 4 weeks.
Right.
Go get some of this fresh stuff.
Right.
And then let's have a great day.
Get some of that Black History air.
Black History air. Right.
Right, the ancestors are in the atmosphere.
Dig it.
So get you some of that Black History air. I like that.
Right. Breathe it in your lungs.
Right.
Folks, don't be a looky-loo. Good morning. Don't be rude. Say it back.
I do want to give a special shout out to Jasmine King watching live. Good morning, Jasmine.
What up,
Good morning.
Jasmine, we need you to do us a favor and tell the rest of the YW, tune in to TCP in the morning right now or you're fired.
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah, right. Flex that black girl magic.
Right. Tell them right now. And yeah, make it happen. To the folks that are listening and watching on Facebook, Aunt Laura, good morning to you. Neville,
Morning.
good morning to you. Nate, always good to see you. Good morning to you. Lisa, good morning to you as well. Taekwon, good morning. Sabrina, the first one to say good morning. It's always a pleasure to have you join us this morning. Nyla, what is going on? Shippensburg's finest right there. Good morning to you. Sammy!
What up?
Family? Sammy will be here on Thursday as a guest. We cannot wait. Corinne, good morning to you. Like we said, folks, don't be rude. Say it back. This is an interactive morning program. Like we said, the best thing that you can have in your cup. Happy Black History Month.
Yeah.
We have a jam-packed show for you today, don't we? I mean, we're talking about black and brown folks getting more pay, more federal pay. Thank you, Biden. We're also talking about HBCUs. More HBCUs are getting bomb threats. And also the verses. The verses that is coming up on Valentine's Day.
And I was just going to say, I said that during my flow. I was like, are we in a pandemic or are we talking about verses? And here we are.
Talking about verses.
Here it is. You know, so folks, buckle up. We have a jam-packed show for you today. About to get started. We're going to give the people what they want. We're going to give the people what they need, right?
We're going to break it down just a little bit.
Just a tad. Hey. Rock out. Remember the guys from Saturday Night Live?
Sure do. Switch the sides now? Let's go.
I'm
Time to give the people, give the people what they want.
That's the news.
With a shimmy.
Thanks for stopping by. Our first story for today, folks, comes from the Associated Press. Across the U.S., bomb threats made again are shutting down historically black colleges, HBCUs. So we talked about this story before. There were many bomb threats just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, Lady L, you have on the Morgan State University hoodie. So before I jump into the story, knowing that our talented 10th, like you like to say, are being targeted, personally, how does that make you feel before I jump into these details?
It's you know what's crazy is that it actually goes with my black formation for today. But it's scary, right? Because especially with some of the schools that are on the list this time around that have been threatened with bomb threats, these are schools that, you know, we have plans to send some of our children to.
Right.
And it's scary because you send your child to college to be safe. We've all went to college. I can't imagine being on campus and there was a bomb threat.
Right.
That fear, it kind of takes me back to when 9/11 happened and they started having us do drills.
Yeah.
Doing drills in the classrooms and everything like that. It kind of reminds me of that. And so I'm kind of fearful about where are we heading? You know,
Right.
The schools aren't safe, the movie theaters aren't safe, the malls aren't safe.
We got Nazis posing outside in Florida, in two different places.
Right. And so again, with the black formation for today, racism is alive and well in America. When Barack Obama was elected the first black president, racism didn't suddenly die. It simply evolved to thrive publicly in the form of legislation and policies that mesh bigoted ideologies with whitewashed ignorance. And that is where we're at.
All right, well, folks, let's get to the story. This is coming from the Washington Post. So a number of historically black colleges and universities across the U.S. went into lockdown and canceled classes yesterday after receiving bomb threats. By early afternoon Eastern time, most of them had issued all clear and lifted lockdown orders. At least 6 HBCUs, Albany State University, Bethune-Cookman University, Bowie State University, Delaware State, Howard, and Southern University and AMN College received threats according to spokespeople statements and social media posts. Federal law enforcement is also involved. They say the FBI is aware of the series of bomb threats around the country, and we are working with our law enforcement partners to address any potential threats. As always, we would like to remind members of the public that if they observe anything suspicious, to report it to law enforcement immediately. Washington, D.C.'s Metropolitan Police Department and Howard University's police force issued an all clear for the campus at 6:22, following a bomb threat made about 2 hours earlier, according to a university spokesperson. Bethune-Cookman and Southern University and AMN College both went into lockdown, with Southern also canceling classes. Bethune-Cookman later lifted its lockdown, and Southern issued an all clear. Albany State closed its campus and postponed classes and operations until further notice, while Bowie State said its campus was also closed, but that students would attend classes online and employees would work virtually. It lifted its shelter-in-place order by early afternoon. So we're seeing now domestic terrorists are now targeting our talented talent. And this is a weak move. It's a intimidating move. And really like, I'm looking at our state officials, not so much the federal, because they're not going to do anything. I'm looking at the state officials, the officials in places like Maryland. Like, what are you going to do with these bomb threats? Is somebody going to pay, or is this some kind of elusive thing that you can't really get your finger on? I really want to know. I really want to know, because you'll be naive to think that this isn't racially charged. And when we see things that are racially charged, you end up with a situation like an Ahmaud Arbery. So what's going to happen? What are you going to do, the powers that be, Sarge?
I want to talk about where's Homeland Security and the FBI on this. All right, Homeland Security should be. This is continued to happen over the past since November. I think we go back as far as November, where this has continued to happen. It is. Can you imagine every day while you're at school being pulled out, everything just being stopped? You're already dealing with the pandemic. All right, now you got to try and deal with midterms, deal with all this stuff, while people are calling in bomb threats. Like, is the goal to get law enforcement, to get these federal agents complacent, so that way they can plant a real bomb? Like, what's the long-term goal here? Like, are they really looking into it serious, or are they just treating it as, kids being kids, people just calling in, making bomb threats, to get out of a test? It's not that. It's clearly not that. It's clearly a coordinated attack. And we need to find out the cell that's doing it. It's a terrorist cell that's doing it then. We have some comments.
Yeah, let's go.
I seen Gary said that what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. He said Marjorie Taylor Greene and her followers need to cut their stuff out. And that's why when you have a platform, it does matter what you say.
Yes, it does.
And like she shouldn't be allowed to hold a seat. She shouldn't be allowed to hold a seat.
She needs to be sanctioned.
Like she should be. Like, her state, Arizona, they need to be.
Georgia, she's from
Georgia. I'm sorry, Georgia. Well, we already know Georgia has issues. All right. Like, they have the GOP runs the election party. The same people like running for office are running the elections.
And they just in one county in Georgia, they just got rid of their bipartisan election board. Mm-hmm. So their whole election board are these election results deniers. Mm-hmm. So these are the little microaggressions that the GOP is going to do now. They're going to try to take over smaller parts of the country that's going to affect larger parts, like in Georgia.
You know what, though? I love that you said that, Sarge, because I was kind of thinking about that, too. Like, what if there's more nefarious reason? Like, yeah, you call and say that there's bombs, and then you give them people fatigue, right? Because you know when the police show up, they showing up like they've been watching Grand Theft Auto and they waiting for something to pop off, right?
Yeah.
So they show up and they're overly aggressive. But if you keep doing that to them, they're going to be fatigued and they're going to show up and be like, this ain't real. This ain't no real action. And that'll be the time when there's real action.
Complacency kills.
Yeah, and so I'm just, yeah. So
there are 5 levels of threat when it comes to homeland security. Low is an attack that's high and likely, moderate, substantial, severe, and critical. All right, we're forced to live in this heightened state of fear. All right, because we're in a substantial. All right, so an attack is likely. All right, but will it happen? Who knows?
Right.
All right, since January 6th, you don't know. You don't know anymore. We watched our capital be attacked.
Right.
We watched our legislators, we watched them have to run for their lives and hide for their lives. You know, so we have to figure out where we're at as a society, you know, because this attack, this living in a state of fear, it's just what the KKK did back in the day, right?
It's repeated acts.
Like they're terroristic, they're guerrilla tactics. It's guerrilla tactics for like it's kind of warfare.
Yeah, it's like did we not see this, you know, with the Birmingham church bombing all them years ago when those four women died? Well, all those decades ago, I should say. Or then let's bring it current. Is this not some Dylan Roof type stuff?
I was gonna say Dylan Roof. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like there are examples. I mean, George Floyd. Ahmaud Arbery, like there are constant examples of us being under this kind of attack. I'll tell you this. If it was Harvard, if it was Yale, you know, if UPenn got a bomb threat, you know, how quick would that person be apprehended?
I'm sorry. I thought the Patriot Act was meant to help with stuff like this. So I'm confused that you use the telephone that you know bounces off of towers, or don't let it be a landline. It's connected to the hardwiring of the house. Like I'm just confused about how we haven't found this person. Who called it in? I just don't understand. You know, like you clearly called the financial aid office, the admissions, whatever department you called. All those phones have caller ID. Like I'm just curious. Like yes, maybe I watched too much Criminal Minds, but I'm like, where do you start?
That's probably it.
Right, because we all know the police only really solve crime on crime dramas on our televisions.
You know, and if you look at if you look at you know the consequences for making a bomb threat, not even following through with it, but making a bomb threat, it's almost laughable. Like the legal results, some individuals that make bomb threats will face an investigation for their behavior. The general consequences usually lead to criminal charges or some type of corrective behavior program.
So,
that's laughable. That is laughable.
So they put you in a terrorist diversion program.
Yo, make it make sense.
It's a terrorist ARD program.
Yeah,
let's get it right. It won't show up. You can still become a police officer or a CO after this.
Yes.
That's probably what they plan on doing with the rest of the January 6ers.
Yo, and that terrorism the deterrent board or whatever you go to is probably a mask for the KKK. Like it's probably an entrenched thing where this is crazy.
Incubated from the jump. So you know that these actions that you put forth, the pushback and consequence is going to be minimal. So then you might as well do the action.
It's almost like they knew it was going to be their sons.
Yes, absolutely.
So they created the law to enforce it as lightly as possible.
We saw this in the Bible. You know, so-and-so begot so-and-so, so-and-so begot so-and-so, so-and-so begot so-and-so. Like, we see it. Racism begets racism. Racist begot racist. Like racist born racist. That's how they're still prevalent today. And since there's no real pushback from us, you know, racism is kind of cool now to be racist.
We have to start considering these things hate crimes.
Yes.
Especially when they're doing it consistently against HBCUs.
Absolutely.
So we got to get past it being a bomb threat. This is a hate crime by just threatening a bomb to an HBCU on more than one occasion.
You know what I think too? I think about like the same people that scream like, you know, when it came to the trans community, oh, you didn't know you were gay, you didn't know you were gay, you didn't think you were a girl like that when you were born, you know, you didn't feel like that when you were born. Well, if you're saying so you're saying you know racism was wrong, so you were taught it. You know what I mean? These same people that say it. So it's like, so wait, you always weren't racist then? Is that what you're telling me? Because I can't tell.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Folks, before we go to our next story, want to let you know we are doing a little contest today. So, on the first day of Black History Month, your favorite morning show, TCP in the Morning, we are giving away a family of 4. You hear that? We're giving away 4 tickets to the February 12th show, Stories and Songs in the Oral Tradition. This is by master storyteller Charlotte Blake Alston, and this is going to be held February 12th at the Ware Center. And this is kind of an all-afternoon thing. This is a family fun presentation with creative hands-on activities for children beginning at noon, and then the show begins at 1 o'clock. So what do you have to do to get these tickets? Again, we have 4 tickets. What do you have to do? Well, you need to answer this question. This Black history question. This moment in Black history. You need to answer this question and call up. The question is...
You got to call.
Whose office hours is from 9 to 5?
I said...
Whose office hours is from 9 to 5? Call up 717-992-5569. Call up at 9 o'clock with your answer so that you can get 4 free tickets to Stories and Songs in the Oral Tradition at the Ware Center on February 12th. Again, whose office hours is from 9 to 5? Cyrus, can you take us to the next story?
All I can hear was, let me out.
You got a problem with my royalties?
And the way I keep. Anyway. All right. So there's some great news going on. Black and brown employees of the federal contractors are expected to see as much as a $3,500 per year in pay increase due to a Biden administration executive order that took effect on Sunday. Many federal contractors who started contracts before the order was issued will now be required to raise employees' wages to the minimum standard set $15 an hour. The U.S. labor market, unfortunately, is still a racist institution, and what that means is that it underpays people of color. Ben Zipierre, an economist at the Economic Policy Institute, said, according to EPI, up to 390,000 federal contractors are opposed to see wages increase from its executive order, and 200,000 are Black or Latinx. The total annual increase in pay for Black and Latinx workers is estimated to be $692 million. Policy experts are enthusiastic about the order and its potential to promote economic advancement. We're very hopeful that the vast majority of these workers will see some sort of pay increase on a relatively quick scale. That's what Anastasia Christman, senior political analyst at the National Employment Law Project, said. Unlike a federal minimum wage where there's a specific date that requires everyone to automatically get paid $15 or more, this executive action occurs on a rolling basis due to several factors. An agency or contractor has the option to comply immediately with the executive order or wait until there's a new action made on their existing contract. Also, if a contract is renewed or explained, this will prompt the raises. Initially, a similar executive order under the Obama administration issued the minimum wage increases, but only 4 brand new contracts. Experts believe the Biden administration's update will allow raises to cover the landscape of federal contractors and their employees due to the order taking effect after any kind of contract action triggers the pay increase. All right, so President Obama tried to pass something like this back in 2014. All right, and he passed it, but it didn't take effect, and contractors were able to skate by, and they really got away with a lot of it. They really got away with skating and paying, like, we would have people come on our bases, okay? So there would be these big companies, and if you weren't overseas, like down in Mississippi, all right, the workers there were only getting paid like $9 an hour, $8 an hour to work in our chow hall. All right, now,
That's crazy.
How are you working a federal job? You're working a federal contracted job, and you're making this kind of money. All All right, so they're going to roll this back. They're going to go back from 2014 to 2019 to repay. They're going to have to pay back $224 million for that course to these workers. All right, stop doing work. Stop. Like, we as America has to stop doing contracts with shady companies. All right, we do these contracts with shady companies overseas while in Kuwait. You know, we had these employees from India that hadn't been paid in almost a year. They hadn't received their money. They hadn't been able to send money back home. The whole reason they left home was to make money. And they're getting paid $2, $3, what's considered $2 to $3 an hour here in America. You know, America, we have to do a better vetting. There needs to be a better vetting process. Stop giving the contractors to your boys, to your buddies, to your college frat brothers. Right? If you know they're bad people, don't do business with them. Like, you got to have a better vetting process when it comes to this.
Absolutely.
Good.
Lady L.
I mean, that sounds nice, but, you know, little Charlotte is my god baby. I wouldn't want her father to be out of a job. And that's what we then see, right? Because they gave old boy a job. But also, that's why they also moved their corporations overseas so that they didn't have to follow these rules and regulations and they could fly under the radar and do whatever they want. But I think our jobs need to come back home, and maybe our next president will vow to bring jobs back home, because that's what we need. But yeah, I think that this is a great idea. I'm excited for the employees. I'm excited for them like I'm about to get a check. You know, like, we talk about like $3,500 extra over the course of a year. Like, that makes a difference. They might be able to take, you know, 6 Flags on a safari this year. Like, that's that family trip, right? We're giving away a family 4-pack of tickets today, right now, to the Ware Center, right? But imagine that some of these workers, even as federal employees, wasn't making enough money to pay for something fun and exciting like that. And think about that, right? These are federal employees. They work for the highest government in the land and couldn't afford, you know, recreational activities with their families. That part. And especially when we're always encouraged for that city job. We're encouraged to take a city job. We're encouraged to take a state job. We're encouraged to do that because we are told that those are jobs of stability. Yeah. How stable can I be with $11 an hour?
When everybody else is making 21. Like, it's again, this is the insidiousness of racism, the microaggressions that we talked about. You know, the black schizophrenic, you know, wondering like I know that I'm just as qualified as them, maybe even more qualified, but somehow they're getting paid more. Am I missing something? Is it me? You know, and then you start to look introspectively, you know, and this just continues that schizophrenic mindset, because then even though you are enough, you begin to question as if you're not, because of how you're being treated or what pay scale you are on. Because yes, us as Americans, we tie our pay scale and our salary to our self-worth. And what this country is basically saying to us is that you should feel worse than your white counterparts because you're getting paid less. I love the fact it's sad that it took Biden to do this, but shout out to him for doing this. You know, the fact that now they're creating this equal pay for black and brown federal workers coming from Morgan State. That's what they pushed. They pushed those, you know, good government jobs. Go get that good government job. That's, like Lady L said, that's that stability. And then even in that realm, we're still treated as second, maybe third class citizens. It's disgusting.
When I talk about the vetting process, we need to get rid of these companies. All right, so numerous, like the federal contractors are violating workers' rights and harming the U.S. government. There's a whole study done. Numerous government studies have found that federal contractors are frequently among the worst violators of federal workplace laws, but face few consequences. The Trump administration exacerbated these problems with actions that weaken federal contract workers' protections and oversight. All right, so according to a 2020 report from the U.S. Government Accountability Office, federal contractors agreed to pay approximately that $224 million back that I talked about. All right, so look, this stuff that's going on, the CAP action built up, he said, among the 49 contractors that the Health Committee identified as responsible for the worst violation of federal labor laws, the CAP action finds that of the total 14 companies, 29% had significant performance problems or subsequent government contracts, and they found that they're still under contract. All right, so it said the 49 separate government contractors were responsible for 58 of the penalties, so nearly 30% of the top 200 workplace violators were current government contractors that were receiving billions in taxpayer dollars. These companies are violating, and we're still paying them.
Yeah.
All right, we're paying them to pay for the fines that they're paying us. Like, how does that work?
They are $224 million in back wages to workers.
How are they still on the books? Like, why? Like, these companies need to be. Look, all right. So bankrupt the company, take the assets and money, give it to the workers.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem hard. All right. I'm sure there's paperwork and stuff, but it's because people are going to have to tell their friends no.
Yep. We got a caller. All right.
It ain't 9 yet. It ain't 9 yet. It's early.
Well,
they early.
Yeah.
They're early. Sorry, they're early.
Hopefully he's not here to answer any questions, but to interject on the conversation, because we are taking calls at 9 o'clock for the question. So good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning. It's Gary Brown calling. How you doing today?
We are well, Gary. How are you?
Good. Calling because I just want to know, why is it that everybody is expecting the Biden's administration to step in the office and instantly fix all of the problems that Trump created? For example, you just read a story about how all of these contractors came in under Trump. Trump right away, when it came to EPA and all these other laws, he just said, "The hell with all that." He created his own. Mm-hmm. Why are we expecting Biden to come in and fix all of Trump's mistakes? In addition to, do you know how long it takes for? Give an example. I have a friend who went from one job to the other in federal government. Okay, DOJ. He had to move his family into Fairfax County, Virginia, during a pandemic where nobody's moving.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's 8 months. He hasn't found a place yet. He's still working out of going back. A lot of people, it takes about 2 years. That's why people don't understand when it comes to the second election. 2 years after being in office, they'll vote. They did things like they did with Obama. They flipped the House and whatnot. It's because if you understand politics and what's happening in politics, it takes about 2 years in order for you to implement any of your policies, any changes. So when Biden came in and made all these emergency actions, you know, he can do that, but it still takes the power of his people coming in to implement that. When you have a person who has to work from home for 12 months or 14 months of the year, instead of actually being able to work with the team, you know, to get these things done. That's what's happening now. I think that America, we are mourning. We are in mourning of family members dying from COVID, and we're acting privileged and like crying and complaining to our president to get things done when it's just not going to happen. We have to understand it takes about 2 years in order to get the ball rolling in Washington, D.C.
Right.
Because you got to think about the lobbyists, okay? Trump brought in all these dirty lobbyists and whatnot. You know what lobbyists do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to move those people out. So that one of the reasons why houses cost so much in the Washington, D.C. area, because the houses get flipped every 4 years. Okay?
Yeah.
Every 4 years. Okay? Meaning new people come in or 8, whichever it is. And 8 years. When you have a person in office for 8 years, it takes even longer.
Right.
To correct those mistakes. So to be beating down Biden because you want him to fix problems like that's created by Trump. What we need to be talking about is the stuff that Trump talked about on Sunday night when we saw him give a speech and admit to doing the wrong shit that he did. In addition to that, the police officers standing behind him, supporting him.
Yeah.
They're at the rally. That's what we need to be talking about.
Why are they still in it? Why do they still have a job?
Talking about this guy who's so dirty.
Right. Right. Well, Gary, thanks for calling up. Please call up again. And
9 o'clock.
And we will keep this conversation going. I think that what needs to happen is like folks like us, folks like yourself, need to stand in the gaps and really not so much educate, but let people know about the political process so that they can be privy on how long it takes and everything like that. But
we're all hurting. We understand we're all hurting. We're mourning loss of my mother from COVID and whatnot. But there's a process that you go through. There's a six, and all in that. There's anger, so we're taking anger out on people, places, and things that we see in office like right now. Biden's not our problem.
Right.
We're about to get a Supreme Court justice, female, black female.
Yeah.
Maybe alpha.
All right.
Brother Gary.
Well, Gary.
Thanks for letting me talk.
Oh, yeah. No problem, Gary.
Thank you for
Call up
calling.
again. Lady L, can you take us to our next story, please? And folks, if you want to call up and sound off, please do. 717-992-5569. Again, 717-992-5569. Also, before Lady L goes to her story, we are giving away tickets, y'all. We are giving away tickets to the Ware Center February 12th for the Stories and Songs in the Oral Tradition. We are giving away a family pack of 4, and this includes the show at 1 p.m. and also the Family Fun Festival presentation beginning at noon with free creative hands-on activities for the children. So, again, call up at 9 o'clock and let us know whose office hours is from 9 to 5. Again, whose office hours is from 9 to 5. Lady L, our next story.
It's crazy because somebody on Instagram said mine.
Well, you lost.
If that is your answer, Miss King, I suggest you phone a friend.
They're like, oh, that sounds like me.
Guys, please remember, these are what we have called B SAT questions. As you know, the SATs disproportionately are disproportionately impacted by, there you go. That's a nice way to put it. They're biased. And a nice way to put it, your SAT scores are based on the number of bathrooms you have in your house. Fun fact. Fun fact. So think about it this way. The more bathrooms you have in your house, the better you'll do in your SATs.
Oh. Don't look at me. I did that on my SATs. Oh.
So just keep that in mind. So all of our questions this week for the giveaway to the Ware Center will be BSAT questions. All right. BSATs. That's right. BSATs. I remember they encouraged all black students to take the ACTs.
ACT. Yep.
Yep. I'm going to definitely encourage my children to do that, but they'll probably be done with that by then.
I was on the opposite end. I was like, so you telling me to take this because I'm black? I'm taking the SATs.
Y'all gonna get me.
Right. No, it's crazy because I knew black people that did both in high school. The ones that took the ACTs, they used their ACT scores to get into college because they were better.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, while we're talking about school and education, 100-strong group of black mothers in one Texas school district is pushing back against the state's attempt to dilute the teaching of black history in its curriculum. That's what I'm talking about. Yay! Let's give it up for the black mamas.
As always.
Yes, give it up for the black mamas.
As always.
All right. So, in an effort, the Round Rock Black Parents Association is fighting to keep Stamped: Racism, Anti-Racism, and You by Jason Reynolds and Ibrahim Candy on school bookshelves. The book is a young adult version of Stamped from the Beginning, the definitive history of racist ideas in America, which won a National Book Award for nonfiction back in 2016. The book remained on school shelves, but is still one of the most challenged books in schools since 2020, when critical race theory entered the mainstream consciousness. The theory, which is commonly taught in colleges and law schools, points that systemic racism is ingrained in United States institutions due to the nation's long legacy of enslavement. According to Education Week, 36 states have introduced bills or taken other steps that would restrict teaching critical race theory or limit how teachers can discuss racism and sexism, according to an EW analysis. 14 states have imposed these bans and restrictions either through legislation or another avenue since January of 2021. Walker contends that the fight is not much about CRT, but it's about kids' experiences, she said. It's about black boy joy or black girl magic. Yet, we're being told it's about critical race theory, just because our kids need to see themselves in these books. In the state of Texas, Governor Greg Abbott passed a restrictive bill in June of 2021 on how race can be taught in schools. The bill also included a list of founding documents that students must be taught and compel students to discuss both sides of current event issues. Further, it prohibits students from getting extra credit or credit for participating in civic activities that include political activism or lobbying elected officials on a particular issue, and also bans the teaching of the New York Times 1619 Project. Walker says the bill has resulted in having to deal with everybody criticizing every single book you can think of. The NBC News report had a sliver of good news. Nora Pelser of the National Coalition Against Censorship says that the majority of the books challenged on the local level are liked among school districts and stayed shelved. Book review policies, when they're well written, solicit the input and decision of a diverse group of stakeholders and encourage the review process to focus on educational value as opposed to reading a particularly explicit passage out loud in a school board meeting. And we talked about that the other day when parents are just taking out these little pieces of an entire book. You know, it's 400 pages, and you're worried about something, the one thing that happened on page 258 in a 400-page book. Black parents have argued that while not teaching some aspects of American history keeps white kids from feeling bad, not teaching it makes black kids feel bad. School districts have a responsibility to ensure they are providing an inclusive environment for all students, said Kara McLean of the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund. In districts where students are already experiencing hostility based on race or LGBT status or religion, schools are now taking away materials that we know could be a buffer against hostility. This is craziness. And I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take it back to this point. There was a time when black people had our own schools. I promise you it's true. Look it up. It's in the book. Black people had our own schools and our own communities educated by teachers who looked like us. And then they created legislation. And then we see our schools become dismantled. Because they dismantled our schools, they had to do what? You then had to provide an education for our children. And they didn't do that very well.
Yeah, that separation of church and state, that's what really killed a lot of black educational institutions. Because a lot of our education, a lot of our schools were based out of the black church. So once they passed that, separation of church and state, which we see was a bunch of BS, because
the churches give money to political people,
and the senators and the other lawmakers use right
to generate voting.
Right. So that was a farce. You know, and then also what we're seeing here is really a attack on education. Like, you remove all of this, and then what kind of people are you building? What kind of people are you creating? There's this article from Yahoo talking about in Texas. It says that records requests to nearly 100 school districts in the Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin regions, a small sampling of the state's 1,250 public school systems, revealed 75 formal requests by parents or community members to ban books from libraries during the first 4 months of this school year. In comparison, only one library book challenge was filed at those districts during the same time period a year ago, records show. So a handful of the districts reported more challenges this year than in the past 2 decades. I wonder why. Is it because there's this big, scary, critical race theory thing all out there now, which has, you know, let me be gentle here, which has parents that aren't in the know, all up in arms and everything. And to continue, it says, all but a few of the challenges this year targeted books dealing with racism or sexuality, or the majority of them featuring LGBTQ characters and explicit descriptions of sex. Many of the books under fire are newer titles purchased by school librarians in recent years as part of a nationwide movement to diversify the content available to public school children. So as these schools are trying to make themselves more inclusive, you have parents and community members and the powers that be saying, you know what, no, let's keep our people uneducated and down.
Well, can't they just send their kids to a co-op school? I mean, honestly, if you don't like the public school system, instead of impacting all of our kids and trying to say, well, you're all going to learn all of this white supremacy, all of this Eurocentric perspective, why can't y'all just take y'all kids and make your own school then?
Because they feel as though that we're in their schools, not the other way around. Sorry.
Look, I want to go back as to, guys, this isn't new. This isn't not new in Texas. We can go back to 2016. All right, go back to 2016. They challenged, they got the Mexican American Heritage book banned. You know, the American history in Texas, that's civil association. They normally never weigh on issues like that. But that's when they first started doing this, okay? So it goes back. This is a trend. Like, they did it then. They're going to continue to do it now. All right? Like, I feel like it was a start with the Mexican American Heritage. All right? And you know, it was for the same reasons. Like, oh, wait. All right, let's try it with this. You know? Now here we are at this step, and they're like, well, we did it back in 2016. You know, everything's been tactically done here. Like, nothing's just done off sheer coincidence. Right. All right, I don't want to make you guys get all scared, but we are in a guerrilla warfare right now. We have to vote. We have to get people in the office. We have to go to school board meetings. Yeah. Right now we have to pay more attention than ever. All right, because we're seeing history written the way they want to write it. That's what we're seeing right now. All right? We're being told January 6th wasn't an insurrection. We're being told that the workers on the plantations back in the day and their bosses that were their living bosses. Right.
They were happy.
Yeah, that's what we're being told. Like, my son's being told Harriet Tubman she was the best slave. She was the greatest slave.
If you don't go show up to that school,
you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, I'm like, wait a minute, like, greatest slave ever.
Okay, so officially, I'm definitely signing up for culture night
you know,
at the
like,
school, because if this is what's happening,
you know, so like then I'm forced to have these talks with my 3rd grade son. Yeah. You know, to tell, hey son, no. We're like, I didn't know you were at this age yet where you understand, but now I do. You know, and that's why. Have these talks with your kids so you can give them the history. So, like, the schools aren't teaching them the right way. So, like, the schools will give them the basics for life. All right, but you have to give them the stuff that's going to feed their soul, something that's going to inspire them, and that's going to give them that burning passion to know who they are, know where they're going, and where they've been.
Yeah, I told this story before. I'll tell it again. I went to E.R. Martin, And every year from first grade to sixth grade, every year when Black History Month came around, ring, 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 ring. Let us call Miss Lupton. Let's call Mrs. Lupton. Mrs. Lupton, can you bring in your books? Every February 1st, every February 1st, my mom would drop me off at school, and I would bring in our books from our personal collection, and they would stay there for, the 28 days for Black History Month, and March 1st, I would collect them and bring them back home. Now, I did that from 1st to 6th grade. Now, why didn't the school say, you know what? Instead of asking a student, a private citizen, to educate, to have the books to educate our students, why don't we just, as the school, get the books ourselves? Instead of having this person come in 6 years straight and depended on her to the point that other teachers from other classes would come to her, talk to her, and my mom would coordinate Black history stuff with Rita, may she rest in peace, with Rita, to get Black history stuff in E.R. Martin. Now, why didn't the school think about that themselves?
Investing in Black history books themselves. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
I was going to piggyback on what Sarge was saying about how they had to make those one books banned, and it's partly our fault, right? Because when they're done coming for them, right, they come for us.
Yeah.
Right. We were happy. We were okay with it not being us at the time, but now look what happens when we don't speak up, when we don't get involved for each other, right? Like after they're done coming for them, they come for you.
We have to realize black and brown is black and brown.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter anything different or going against these people's certain way of living. These people, the way they want to have things. In September of 2016, they had a whole Trump pep rally at a high school. Where racism and politics got involved.
Yeah.
We want to talk about keeping racism and stuff out of the schools. How do we get it? How do we make it better? Not by whitewashing everything.
Right.
Not by getting rid of the Tulsa Oklahomans.
Right. So my computer actually froze. I didn't know that y'all were popping in the comment section like this.
They've been popping.
So Gary says 9 to 5 on the IRS. Nyla says that is a fabulous book. And then Karina says yes. And then Gary says, why can't we get organizations like the NAACP to show their power and file federal lawsuit against the school districts? These organizations will take donations, but what are they doing for the people? Let me tell you, I'll keep my NAACP commentary to myself. Karina says...
You keep some things interculturally just into the group.
Yeah, because the NAACP ain't it. Like I am. You know what? I'm not going to hold back my commentary.
Oh Lord!
Waiting for this moment.
like this needs to be the part where we can put like a white face on us, so that is So now it'll be like the white girls join, put it over your face, and then you're like, all right.
No. They need to hear this from a black man. They need to hear
this.
They need to take this medicine.
Tell them, brother.
They need to take this medicine because, when we talk about the NAACP, why does Black Lives Matter? Why does that movement even exist? Because the NAACP didn't do what they were supposed to do. The only reason why I think that the NAACP exists is because they wouldn't take certain steps like the Black Panthers did. The NAACP, it was about
they let white people in there.
Let's get along to get along.
Right.
We need you for us to progress. And what has happened was that docilism stepped in, that comfortability stepped in to the point that now we just have a whole bunch of politicians in the NAACP talking to us about the cancer and never giving us treatment. And they're collecting money talking about the cancer. Oh, there's cancer everywhere. We're the ones because we're the cancer experts. But you have never given a cure for said cancer. Look at your chapters in each individual city and ask yourself, when has that chapter been at the forefront of anything besides a photo op? It's get to these comments.
Well, I'm just going to try and speak from another point of view.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, at what point though? You know, like when do you turn the reins over? You know what I mean? It's a different fight. You know, like over the course of history. All right, we'll go back. Civil rights movement's still going on, but who are the new leaders of the civil rights movement? All right, who are the new people taking the steps? All right, we can put the weight on these older generations. We can put the weight on them, but what newer generations? All right, I'm calling out our uncles.
Yeah.
I'm calling out our big cousins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's who I'm calling out. Like I'm calling out us now because now it's our time. Like as we approach our mid 30s and our early 40s, you know, like. It falls on us.
Yes, we're still looking at Al Sharpton. Mm-hmm. Like we're still looking at Uncle Al, Uncle Jesse.
And all he did was bring us back for the anniversary for the March on Washington to promote his book.
Right, go ahead.
And Jesse's just trying to play catch with all 30 of his kids.
That's also strategic, though. They keep giving us Al Sharpton, right? Like, it's not like there aren't other people out there doing the work, working as hard as he was when he was younger. Right? They're not giving that platform to anybody else. They're giving that platform to keep us docile.
Right. Hello, caller. What is going on?
What up, guys? I'm Miss Nyla.
Hey, Nyla. What is going on?
What up, Nyla?
Not much. Hey, guys. Good morning, TCP crew.
Good morning.
So did you
answer this question because this is one of me and Deontay's favorite movies?
All right.
And it was Big Red.
Yeah! She waited till exactly 9.
She called 2 minutes ahead. 2 minutes ahead to make sure she got through.
Stay on hold. All right. Well, look. We will slide in your DM so that we can get your address. And we will send you the family 4-pack of tickets.
All right, thank you, guys.
No problem. Congratulations.
Thank you for calling in. Listen, you could win.
Yes.
The answer was Big Red from the movie
Red.
The 5 Heartbeats.
Yes.
Oh man, you boys got soul.
So let's get to these comments, man. Y'all are on fire. So Helena, good morning to you. She says, fear of black power. Karina says, exactly, Lady L. Public ed is for everyone. Venus, good morning, Venus. She says, morning, my freest blackity black siblings. Yes.
Yeah. Morning, Sister Venus.
Top of the morning to you as well. Karina says, my son read articles about January 6th. He knows what happened. 3rd grade also. Corinne says, shaking my head, WTF. I gotta ask, which school district, Sarge? Which school district?
Blue Streaks. Blue Streaks.
Corinne says, shaking my head, we got to do something. They claim diversity, inclusion, equality, and I just don't see and feel it yet. You've had y'all kids in the district longer than us, but this just can't continue. Lisa says, get it off your chest, Keith. Thank you, Lisa. I hope I did and didn't, you know what? No, I hope I offended somebody. Offended somebody into action.
Right. Better than action.
Right. Sharif. Good morning, Brother Sharif. He says NAACP really stands for Never Around, Available for Colored People. Dig it. Caitlin, what is going on with you? Good morning to you. Caitlin Dawson. She says there is no limitations to what we can achieve except those we acknowledge. Riches and... No?
No. Skip that.
Skip it?
That comment.
All right. Well, Ray says good morning. Good morning to you, Ray. And Gary says, if a race of people know that in the near future they are going to become a minority race, why can't they get their statisticians and hedgers to prepare for the future and take advantage of it instead of showing fear of black power?
They are. That's why they that's why they gerrymandered it so no one can vote. They can't lose.
Not only that, but these abortion rights aren't about black people making babies. It's to force white women to have babies. It's not about us. Eugenics is for us.
Stop humping black men and aborting your babies.
Well,
it's only because Dad says.
All right, so folks, our next story comes from Connecticut. But before we get to our story, Lady L, can you tell the folks about what is happening this Friday? Got swim good.
Oh my my
Yes.
goodness. Yes, absolutely.
You and I must be legendary love.
Oh, is that them? Is that song? My husband loves that song. So, listen, guys. We are heading into week five of the Patients Are Waiting Health Equity Music Festival. This week's artist highlight will be Swim Good, as you heard. You got to see my husband do his jiggy to this. It's hilarious. And I know he can't wait because the last time they were performing, he missed it, and I got a story to tell y'all about that. But yeah, so
during the summer.
Yes.
Oh man, I was mad. Salty? I was salty.
And you were mean to me because I was showing you all the love. But anyway.
Yes, I missed it. And you called me to be like, hey, just want to let you know.
Swim Good was here.
What you're missing.
I called you. See, now we're getting sidetracked. I called you to say, ooh, Swim Good's performing. My husband not here. He would love to hear this. So I called him on FaceTime, y'all, so that he could see them as they're performing. And they were performing like a song that he liked.
Yes, and I was so jealous.
And I was like, oh my goodness, let me call him up. Being a good wife. Ladies, dropping your comments, your thoughts. I was like, oh, let me tell him that they performing.
Now, that feels like bragging.
Hey, thank you.
That feels like bragging. I'm going to give it to you from over here. I'm going to let you know that feels like you bragging. Oh, guess where I'm at?
Right.
I'm at your favorite group's concert.
Guess who's performing?
And they playing your favorite song. Look at them.
Right. No.
You know where you are? In the phone.
No, because we were at the event together. And you walked off.
We went to lunch. We were there since the morning.
And you walked off.
Have mercy.
And I said, hey, let me call him and show him this.
My goodness.
I thought I was being cool. So come out to week 5. Health Equity Music Festival so that you can hear Swim Good and you don't got to be watching them on the stream.
Dig it.
Because I know y'all be watching on the stream. I know y'all do. I see y'all watching on the stream. But come on down. See Swim Good perform live. It'll be this Friday. The festival begins at 6 o'clock. Come on through. They have resources to thrive by 5. So early educational resources for your little ones. They also have resources for rental assistance and utilities, as well as Boost Mobile will be there giving out free tablets with 35 gigs of data per month. You just gotta have your student registered for the School District of Lancaster and bring in their report card. And that all goes down this Friday, week 5, the Health Equity Now Music Festival, hosted by our lovely Black lady doctors. The women at Patients Are Waiting. Over to the desk for the next story.
Just want to say before I start the next story, that's like really a thing. Like there are people that be coming up to me, they be like, hey, Black lady doctor. I'm like, oh, well, all right.
We do this outside the studio.
It'd be embarrassing when you look like, my fault. That was a weak clap. Can we do it again?
You always clap.
Oh man, so folks, our 4th story of the day: Connecticut cops suspended for allegedly mishandling death investigations of 2 black women. Mayor Gannon said the officers did not follow proper policy. So, officials in Bridgeport, Connecticut announced on Sunday that the Bridgeport Police Department suspended 2 detectives over their handling of the death investigations for 2 black women, Lauren Smith-Fields and Brenda Lee Rawls. This is from a USA Today report. Mayor Joseph Gannon publicly acknowledged the victims' families in a news release, saying he was extremely disappointed with the leadership of the Bridgeport Police Department and find actions taken up to this point unacceptable. The Bridgeport Police Department has high standards for officer sensitivity, especially in matters involving the death of a family member. It is unacceptable. It is a failure in policies that were not followed. Gannon also announced that he and the police chief are making departmental policy changes to how the police authorities contact the families of the victims. The ongoing public outrage over the police department's handling of Smithfield's case forced Gannon to demand that the 2 officers identified as Detective Kevin Cronin and Detective Angel Lanos be placed on administrative leave. The 2 officers are being investigated by Internal Affairs and will face consequences for lack of sensitivity to the public and failure to follow police policy in the handling of these 2 matters. The mayor also noted that the supervisory officer who was the lead on both cases retired on Friday from the department.
Can't be charged. He's good. Can't be charged with nothing now.
Right.
That's why he was on the job.
Right. The family described the police behavior as racially insensitive. The Connecticut Office of the Medical Examiner attributed Smithfield's death to acute intoxication from the effects of fentanyl. However, the Bridgeport Police Department and the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration are working together to investigate her death. So Rawls' family accused the police of mishandling the case of their loved one. Dorothy Rawls Washington said her sister went to visit a man that lived nearby, and when her family was unable to contact her for several days, oh man, my computer just went black. There we go. Was unable to contact her for several days. They went to the man's house, who informed them that she died 2 days before. The Rawls family also accused the police of failing to notify them of their loved one's passing. Rawls' cause of death is still under review. There were protests, and this is the fallout that happens. These are the little microaggressions that we talked about. Like, we always have to have our antennas up, because something as simple as, oh, I need my toilet fixed, and then let's say that your plumber is racist, and then now they do something to your toilet which causes issues in your bathroom, which exacerbates your whole issue. These are the little microaggressions that we have to really worry about, whereas though people are refusing to do their job that taxpayers pay their salary for, and they then don't show that same benevolence to those taxpayers. This is ugly, this is arrogant, and I hope these dudes are fired and fined. Sarge.
Listen, let's go to the numbers.
Let's go to the
So
numbers.
2019, a study was done. 85,000 officers were being investigated for misconduct, and nearly 2,500 of them were for 10 or more different charges of that. All right. Researchers also they did a study on 2,400 convictions of defendants who were later found innocent over a 30-year period, and found that 35% of the cases involved some type of misconduct by police, and more than half, 54%, involved misconduct by police or prosecutors. How can we expect to win? How do you expect to say Black Lives Matter?
Right.
How do you expect to say you say Blue Lives Matter? This is a job. There are 85,000 people at this company. 85,000 people that work for this company are being investigated for wrongdoing. Right. There is a problem with the company. Get rid of the company. Start a new company. Right. This shows problems. This shows issues.
There needs to be a rehire process. These guys shouldn't keep their job. They should have to be rehired by other people.
I want to say the study for them 2,400 people, okay? They're the people that were found innocent after doing 30 years of prison. Imagine everybody else that goes, oh, I'm innocent, that really are. Right. You know, that really were done, that really got guilt, that really were convinced to tell that to sound like they're guilty.
Listen, if you were committing a crime to feed your family, you're innocent to me.
Like there's
I'm just saying.
Like how do you expect people to trust people? How do you expect there to be any kind of relationship? You can ride as many bikes in the neighborhood, you can have as many Christmas giveaways, but until you take care of this, nothing. It's still going to remain the same.
Right. Right.
There is clearly an issue. There's clearly not one policy that should fit all. All right, there needs to be.
Because the people know. Yeah. People are dealing with this every day.
Mm-hmm. Right. And in the article, Smithfield's family held a protest to pressure the police department to investigate her death. Like, they're pressuring the police department to investigate her death. Now, why are they pressuring the police department to investigate her death? Well, Smithfield's 23 was found dead in her apartment after a meeting with an older white man on a Bumble date. Here's the thing, though. That man has yet to be investigated. Yet to be investigated. On top of all of that, there's a lack of media coverage, surprise, in Bridgeport, Connecticut over this. So, like I pointed out in the past, especially with local news, there's a marriage between your local news affiliate and your local PD.
I'll give you 8 to 10 odds that dude's a cop.
Yeah.
Former cop.
Some
buddy,
brother,
PA official.
brother.
And it's crazy because for that particular case, with that, the police didn't even do their due process, right? So they found her. They didn't process any potential key pieces of evidence. There were bloody sheets. They didn't take them, didn't check them out. There was a used condom. Didn't take them, didn't check it out. And there was a pill. Didn't check it out. They refused to, the police refused to interview her date, who said he called for help after he found her unresponsive.
They didn't want to tell his wife.
But she was dead for 2 days when they asked him questions. He's guilty.
So
you called for help. No one responded.
There's that, right? So that's the 23-year-old. Now, with the 53-year-old, apparently she went to go see a guy friend on December 11th. And he said that he came to her house and on the 14th. So she went there on the 11th. 3 days later on the 14th, he said he couldn't wake her up. And he didn't call her family. And she had a boyfriend. So now I'm also confused about, well, why were you at this man's house for umpteen days? And your boyfriend showed up with your sisters looking for you. He just says that he was unable to wake her up and that she had died. And then when his sister showed up at his house, he gave the sisters her clothes and her shoes that she had on.
There's too many questions here.
I'm very confused. Like you should want to investigate under the premise that this just doesn't make any sense.
And
that part.
And in one of the cases, one of the siblings kept on calling the police to follow up on the investigation, and the Bridgeport police told her stop calling. Like this is why there's this distrust with police.
Where's that one detective who can't take this and the information's too much for him to handle? Where is that guy? Where's the gung-ho cop in this small town, right? Who's supposed to take the initiative and be like, you know what? Something feels wrong here. Let me continue an investigation on my own. Where is that person?
Because the wrong person got wronged.
Oh, it's
to the
so trash.
There's no way this happens.
So trash.
Like, where's the DA at? The DA should be all over this. Like, there needs to be. Where are the state troopers at? You know what? Call them the state troopers. You know, like that. Clearly, where's the civilian oversight?
There is corruption in this police
yes,
department.
like clearly,
like, obvious.
And you know what's even more messed up is that we can show it on the national news. It can be shown across the nation. Mm-hmm. They don't care. No, they don't. Because what are they going to do? They're going to come to our little town and stop us. Right. You know what? Yeah. Yep. They're going to stop everything. They're going to stop the funding. They're going to cut your job. They're going to cut your police force. Hey, that sucks, don't it?
Mind you, this is the same police force, okay? It's the same police force that busted Aaron Hernandez. So it's not like this police force don't
do investigations.
Right. All right?
Well, only of high-profile cases,
right.
Let's profile minorities get investigations.
Right. Let's get to these comments. Keisha says, guys, I'll catch up in the week. Back injury pain echoing too hard. Hope you get better soon. Candace says, morning TCP. Good morning to you. Venus says that is a supportive wife right there. Venus, stop it. She was bragging.
Stop loving your friend.
Lisa says, damn if you do. Damn if you don't, Lady L. He's in his fields. You thought of him at the moment, and that's what counts. No, at that moment. Sammy says, you know what really grinds my gears? How they use the term administrative leave to make it sound better for the officers when everywhere else people get fired.
Nah, because they're getting paid.
Vacation.
They're getting paid for the 2 weeks, though. They're on administrative leave until they decide to fire them.
Right. Nicole, good morning to you as well, fellow SU alum. Sammy says those numbers are astonishing, aren't they, family? Damali, good morning to you. She says those numbers are crazy, but I imagine there are so more underreporting. That's what we're really worried about. Sammy says, I'd like to point out how Lancaster City Police Department still has Blue Lives Matter flags on all their vehicles. Great point.
Thank you, Sammy.
Lauren, good morning to you. Lauren, she says it often comes down to policy. If what the police are doing doesn't break a law or policy, the unions will fight to keep them in their position. The unions are the big problem.
The biggest problem.
I've heard that the police union is the strongest gang in this country.
FOP, man, the Fraternal Order of Police, man.
Molly says so many are concerned, I'm sorry, so many are cornered into plea deals by intimidation and lack of resources for bail and or legal fees. And Ray says because they don't see nothing wrong with what they do in reference to Lancaster PD and their Blue Lives Matters flags. Venus says Connecticut is in New England. That part. Gary says H.R. 1280, George Floyd Justice and Policy Act of 2021 needs to be passed. Ray says, listen, think about how Lanc police and newscasts on fabricated stories during protests. They always change the dialect to fit for the police and county when doing coverage. Like we just said, there's that marriage. It's too close. It's too close for comfort. Like I mentioned in Maryland, like the local PD would come in and chill.
Well,
chill at the
news doesn't exist without crime.
And
well, the version of news that other news stations do doesn't exist without crime.
Right, and what do those stations do? They just go to the public information officer or they go to the chief and they'll get their information. They don't follow up on leads and stories and all that anymore. I'm trying to power through this so that we can get to you, Sarge. Damali says I'll be back in a little bit. Mental health triggered. Hey, take that break. Sabrina says, had the roles been reversed and it was a black man with a white woman, he would have been in cuffs instantly with at least a few bruises. That point. Ray says, bringing the state troopers is going to do what? And Jennifer, good morning to you, Jennifer. She says, good morning. Happy Black History Month. Yes, happy Black History Month to you too, Sarge.
Bringing in the state troopers, that you have an outside source investigating. All right, that's why like you can't have the people in-house investigating you all the time because it doesn't work. You just keep sweeping shit under, keep giving each other favors. But I do want to say, researchers found the misconduct by police and prosecutors is among the leading cause of disproportionate false convictions of black defendants. For example, 78% of black defendants who were wrongly accused of murder were convicted because of some type of misconduct. That number is 64% for white defendants, according to the study. An even wider gap, 87% of black defendants later found innocent who were sentenced to death were victims of official misconduct versus 68% for white defendants.
Just Khalif Browder
and again,
versus Kyle Rittenhouse.
Astonishingly high.
And again, why do we still have police departments if we clearly see that they are not working?
We need to get rid of them.
Like, I'm convinced that, like, here's the thing. All of these crime drama shows actually help to mitigate crime. Everybody thought Horatio was going to come and get him. Yep. Everybody thought Shamar Moore was going to come and get him. And so nobody was really out here committing crimes all like that, and things had plummeted. And now what do you do because your state has to keep those prison beds full or you owe the prison a check? You're doing stuff like this. And they've been doing stuff like this at the expense of black and brown bodies, at the expense of kidnapping our fathers, our sons, our brothers, our cousins, right up off the street.
Yeah. So, Sarge, can you take us to our next story, please?
Yes. Our next story comes from the Griot. All right. So, black businesses, from businesses to workers, inflation is taking its toll on black communities. Our black business owners feel they are experiencing the brunt of high inflation rates, but experts point to the 1980s as an indication that the worst is yet to come for the black community as a whole. Oh, man. That's a great way to, let's go back to the crack era. Let's go back to the 1980s.
Sheesh.
Great time. So, Kari Parker, co-founder of Connie's Chicken and Waffles in Baltimore, said there is a heightened pressure for black-owned businesses to weather the rise of inflation without signaling to customers that there are challenges. We've intentionally kind of, struggled internally with raising prices because we want to make sure that the customer gets amazing food and amazing experience. At a time, labor shortages, supply scarcities, and inflated prices, some black businesses have held off on making charges that could impact or changes that could impact customers' experience out of deep-rooted fear of feeding into stereotypes. When we started the business, we said we wanted to dispel any kind of myths that say African American businesses can't do things as well as any other businesses, Parker added. According to the crosstab data from a newly released survey from Goldman Sachs, exclusively obtained by the GRIO, 60% of black small business owners have increased the prices for products or services in comparison to 68% of an overall population of business owners. Additionally, the survey indicates that black-owned small businesses are more likely to say inflation has very negatively impacted their financial health. Census data shows that there are more than 2 million black-owned businesses in the United States, but other areas that have high representation of black workers are the public and federal sectors. These divisions of labor force stand to see long-term negative impacts from inflation. Public and federal sector paychecks are funded by tax revenue, and during periods of high inflation, tax revenue can take a hit due to decreased consumer spending. Terrence Melvin, president of the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, warns that a hit to the public sector will create a cyclical economic issue for many black households. Black unemployment reached a record high of 21.20 in January of 1983 after Paul Volcker, then chair of the Federal Reserve, raised interest rates in an attempt to lower inflation by shocking the economy with an induced recession. The effects of that were felt throughout the 80s. I'm going to stop there. Listen, we've seen businesses say the pandemic. Oh, COVID. But yet, some of these businesses are businesses that laid off their employees, still applied for the loans, got the loans, got employees back.
Didn't
raise wages. You know, so I'm not saying this for all black and brown owned businesses, but I'm saying that we can't depend on the government to fix this one. Right. You know, we as a community, we need to understand the power of our dollar and where we put it. You know, like we know what's going on around us, you know, but if you're still putting your money back into the community and that money circulates in the community, then you're doing the right thing. Right. You're spending your money wisely. You're not just giving it to anybody. And you understand, if you see a price rise at McDonald's, you see a price rise at Dollar General, why wouldn't you think there'd be a price rise at this small business that they're working to fund?
Preaching today.
Like, why would you do that? Like, what? You can't think that. You can't get the, let me get the hookup. Let me get the, no. You know why? Because I'm not getting the hookup when I have to work this 20-hour day.
My bills ain't hooking me up. To your point, Sarge. Absolutely. Like, yo, we all saw with places like McDonald's them take certain items off the menu. Mm-hmm. Like, we saw that, like, even with the double cheeseburger ain't even $1 anymore. You know, so if we see our larger corporations raise price, like even Chick-fil-A, I believe Chick-fil-A took away their cheese sauce. You know, so like we see these larger corporations making these changes, we should have the same expectation, which I don't know why we don't. We should have that same expectation when we go to our smaller businesses. Like, for instance, me and Lady L went to Spice Kings 2 weeks ago. Like, we clearly saw the price increase, but it was like, oh, well, everything, the price is expensive. Right. And it was like, okay, well, you know what? This is what it is. The fact that Spice Kings had to put out a post and say, you know, well, because of the economy and because of prices are going up, our prices have increased. I really wanted to know, those same people that went in there.
You're overpaying for everything. Overpay people you know. Right.
Like did y'all go to Prince Street Cafe and say that same thing? Did y'all go to McDonald's and be like, wait, the Big Mac was $3.50, now it's $4.50? Like, did y'all go to Red Lobster?
Your video games cost more. Your
right.
cost
more.
Your
when you cash out of Walmart and that jump went up $75 from what you normally spend. Did you say anything?
Right.
That's so gross. I'm never a fan of playing into racist stereotypes, right? And that's, unfortunately for Spice Kings, they played into that. I don't care if 59 black people came up to me asking me about a thing. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. And what you're not going to do, and that's an internalized oppression that we do as a community to ourselves. Like, how dare you show up to a black business and complain about the price of a thing? Like you said, husband, do you go to so-and-so cafe and ask them about their prices or complain to them about their things? Do you go? No. You only do that with people who look like you, because that is the only time when you feel you have any kind of power is to come at your own people. Weird. Take that same energy and take it to McDonald's, please. Right. Take that same energy over to Wendy's, please. You can take that same energy and take it over to Turkey Hill with them gas prices, please. Yeah. Not to our own businesses, not when they're building sustainability, not then. Are you kidding me?
I'll ask this question. If you like a company, right, and they charge low, do you pay more?
If I like a company, yeah.
I do,
Yeah.
right. But that's the mindset we should start to get in. Like, oh, well, I shouldn't expect the price to stay the same. No. If I love it, that means the demand is up. They might have to buy more of it, which means they might have to spend more. Which means I might have to pay more.
Yeah.
Yo, don't be afraid to pay more with places you like.
Right.
Mm-hmm. How do you keep them open?
Like my barber in Philly, in the 2 years, he went from $25 to $45 in 2 years. And guess who was there the whole time during the price increase? Because I appreciate that quality. Same thing with Spice Kings. Okay, well, this is the price. I know everything else is going up. I appreciate that quality. And it's not even like their prices are astronomical. Like,
they were reasonable to begin with.
Right. Here's the thing.
Now they're on market.
If you got the nerve to show up to a restaurant complaining about their prices, don't go to the restaurant.
Don't go out. Yes.
Right.
You keep your tail.
Wait till next week.
Right.
Save up till you don't have to look at the price.
And all of our, with the exception of, I believe, Chick-fil-A, everybody has a dollar menu. Everybody has a dollar menu. And are you going to go there and complain to them about their dollar menu and ask why it's not 75 cents?
The dollar store is now $1.25. How many people are like, oh
man, that
just turn into another Dollar General.
Right.
It's not even a dollar store now. It's Family Dollar.
To Sarge's point, Sarge said that it's going to take all of us to get out of this. I specifically want to look at people when you order from these small places like a Spice Kings, like a La Casina, like a Got Jerked, and you order through Grubhub. Grubhub is taking a flat fee of 5% from that sale. So the business is only getting 95%. So if you want to really help people get out of this,
take your ass there and go pick it up yourself. Yeah. And when you think about it, honestly, and that's probably partly why I haven't really ordered through like a third-party delivery system, because it's just like, well, the business really isn't going to get too much of this money. And how much money am I really giving to the business if it's a $50 sale?
And see, that's the thing. Grubhub for orders less than $20, Grubhub takes 7% of those. So
they're taking more for less.
Yeah. So I mean, folks, if we want to support our local Black and brown businesses, we have to go there, not be this third party type situation.
Right.
To the comment section, Gary says some of these cases do sound like mail order fentanyl lace ecstasy cases. It's a mouthful.
Just like that.
Lisa says, we have an issue with the pricing every year with our clients. They fail to realize inflation and everything going up in price every year. It takes almost $3,000 just to get started with tax season, and that's just what the software, programs. And that says, and we're still lower in prices. And Jennifer says, it's cheaper to pick it up yourself. Absolutely.
It is. And then, I mean, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but there have been a number of instances. I do let my Grubhub person know, please ring my bell. And there have been a number of times when they did not ring the bell.
Yo, that happens.
And that's partly why I stopped ordering.
Yeah. Same with me. One time, my steak got rained on. Like I'm like, yo, it's been almost 2 hours. I didn't get no text message, no ringing the doorbell or nothing. I look outside.
Wet steak.
Bag outside. I'm like, did you just like?
And that's what they're doing.
Like and
again,
there's no quality of service anymore. It's about getting paid.
But you know what though? Then people like us don't order from Grubhub, and then what? That then you lose delivery jobs.
Yeah.
Because guess who's not calling for a Grubhub delivery? Guess who's not calling for Uber Eats delivery? Because y'all trifling selves are leaving stuff at people's doors and not notifying them.
Yeah.
I remember I had a Grubhub person have the nerve to tell me that I should have ordered from a different restaurant. No, I ordered from the restaurant that I wanted to order from.
Man.
If I want the restaurant on the boulevard, that's the one I want.
And then even some of the restaurants, I'm gonna make this last point before we go to our next story. Some of the restaurants they'll run out of products. They'll run out of products. You order and then they'll message you and say, oh yeah, we're out of this. And the attitude that we have, we don't have that same attitude when it comes to like black businesses. Oh my gosh, they're always out of stuff. They never we don't have that same attitude. We need to offer
something different.
Right. We need to offer these black businesses the same grace that we offer these other businesses out here. And that's just fact. You know, so folks, want to let you know that you are listening and watching TCP in the Morning, brought to you by Penny.com. Penny.com, Pennsylvania's #1 healthcare marketplace. Head on over to Penny.com right now to see how much you can save for healthcare. That's PENNIE.com, where 9 out of 10 Pennsylvanians save with some kind of financial assistance with healthcare. So our next story, please, Lady Allen.
All right. So our next story takes us over to the city of brotherly love
and sisterly hate.
And sisterly affection. All right, guys. So, all right. So this story again, I had asked my husband this. I was like, is police low-hanging fruit? No, they just that trifling, guys. Listen, I'm sorry to bring it back to police acting a fool. But again, police acting a fool. Lock this man up.
We're just reporting the news. Like, if it's not in the news, it doesn't get reported.
So this man was locked up, convicted for murder that happened in 1980. He was convicted in 1984. That's a problem in itself. It took y'all 4 years to take him to trial. And you know where black people stay at while they waiting that trial?
Jail.
Yeah, exactly. So Philadelphia man Willie Stokes was freed from prison this January after serving 37 years of his sentence. Wrongfully imprisoned, Stokes' case was influenced by a perjured testimony. Police had offered sex and drugs to the case's chief witness in exchange for Stokes' framing. The chief witness in question, Franklin Lee, had stated that Philadelphia police offered him a bribe at police headquarters following an unsolved dice game killing in 1980. After the trial, Lee was charged with perjury. A federal judge later discovered prosecutors had never disclosed the information. Lee would eventually recant his testimony at Stokes' murder trial, citing a moment of consciousness. Still, Stokes was in prison despite the proceedings recanting. Stokes never knew until 2015 that Lee went to prison for perjury and was in disbelief when informed. He was never told of the charges during the majority of his time in prison. When Stokes went to prison, guys, he had a 2-year-old daughter. His daughter died when she was around 20 years ago. And he was not allowed to attend her funeral. So he missed all of his daughter's life. They had arrested the witness who said that he perjured himself and recanted his story, and they still left that man in jail. Not only that, but I actually looked at some of his stuff. There were at least 3 times where he filed petitions and motions to get out of prison beforehand. And they, 87 he was denied, 96 he was denied. There was another time in 2000. So like every 10 years he was trying again. And in 2015 is when he found out that the witness that got him locked up was himself in jail for perjury on his case that he was in jail for murder for. So he's suing him. So he says that he's not bitter. He's just excited to move forward, and he is 60 years old now. Not bitter, because he's about to be balling. Let's take it over to the desk. Gentlemen.
This is a real fear.
Mike's up.
This is a real fear, because as black men in this country, like I can't speak for everyone else, but there's a fear that I could go to jail for absolutely nothing. That I could be walking down the street, and this is a real fear, that I could be walking down the street and cop cars can come out of anywhere, apprehend me, and then I get locked up for however long, to prove my said innocence against this system that wants bodies. The system doesn't want the truth. If something happens, the system wants a body for a body. That's what this system wants. Like again, I just brought it up not too long ago with Khalif Browder. Like he basically did nothing and lost his life to the system. So like this is very, very hard, because I mean they had everything in their eyesight to say, okay, we need to get this man out of jail. Like people refusing to do the right thing are the most insidious. And that's what's really bothering me here, is that people refuse to do the right things for over 30 years.
How many of those white liberals were there and were like, well, he was found guilty?
And how many other cases similar to that? And these men still locked up, or they ended up losing their life in jail.
And like you said, that is the scary part when you get the white liberals and they're like, oh well, they're in jail. It's like almost like that's like the cutoff, like
that's the end of it.
Right, that's the truth. Obviously you did it if you're in jail, because there's no way that there's bias in our court systems. And it's crazy, again, this is why we talk about it being two Americas. It's crazy that you can talk to a white liberal or just a white person in general in their view of the justice system, and how it's almost like they hold it to this high regard as if it's like I think it's something that we need to be disrespecting, and we shouldn't have not a single judge, jury, all of this needs to be reconfigured. But you'll meet some other Americans. It's weird because I saw this video with Mitch McConnell, and he said that he didn't call us, he said he voted against the Voting Rights Act because he said, I don't even know what he called us. He called us something, but it's something to make it seem like we just weren't Americans, we're the black Americans or something like that. It was very strange. But again, it gives you this idea of how they see us as a collection, as a group of people. Our lives are not worth much. That's why it was so easy to take Brother Stokes and lock him up for 37 years and not even bat an eyelash. The prosecutors are lawyers too.
Out of sight, out of mind. That's what Jennifer said. Go ahead, Sarge.
Back in August 10, Philadelphia paid out Willie Veazey from Philly, the settlement. He got $5 million after he spent 27 years in the state prisons.
$5 million is nothing.
What? All right. So what? How much is years of your life? Like how much is each year of your life worth? All right. You're asked to put a price. You're asked to put a price tag, pretty much, on where would you expect to be? How much would you have made by then? By now?
How much do white men get
for
wrongful
like
conviction?
so.
That's what I want to know.
So what I'm getting at is that sugar tax money. You know, that slush fund money that's sitting in there. All right, are they going to take that out and pay him for it? You know, because Philadelphia continues to see they continue to have this as far as even police misconduct. All right, and they continue with the racist ways. Like they still have their form of redlining going on.
Right.
All right, their new form of redlining is they do it by homicides here, not non-desirable here, desirable area to live here.
Yeah.
All right, still using the same colors, just changing the wording of it.
Right.
All right, so for as long as the powers that be in Philadelphia have been in power, you guys need to look at everything. You guys need to look at that whole police force. Like, I'm not going to stop saying it. We need to fire these companies and bring in new companies.
Absolutely.
Treat it like a business.
To the comment section, Mary. Good morning, Mary. She says good morning. Venus says I'm struggling. Jennifer says that's so sad, man. This happens too often. Absolutely. Damali says he has every right to be bitter. I can't stand when it seems like our people are expected to be forgiven after being wrong. Excellent point. Excellent point. Venus says because our bodies are connected historically to capitalism. Our bodies are a commodity at every turn in the structure. So when your psychology believes this, because generation after generation is allowed to participate and behave like this, is business as usual. So y'all preaching this morning. I love it. I love it. That's a great point. Lauren says, well, the concern is misplaced because if you look at the statistics, African American voters are voting in just as high a percentage as Americans. That's what Mitch McConnell said.
And that was my point. That doesn't make any sense. I'm confused.
Right. Alina says, you're absolutely right. They'll make up stories to have you prosecuted. Jennifer says, there's no price tag on life. They need to pay that man so that he can try to live the rest of his life healing. We talked about this with the Michigan versus Michigan State payout. Like, even with the payouts have racist undertones as well, because black victims don't get as much payout as white victims. And then Gary says, like someone said to me, aren't you concerned about being a black man in the CBD industry? I said no, because my company has the U.S. Department of Agricultural stamp of approval. Green Compass is a USDA certified organic CBD product. Gary, little by little, you won't come over to the dark side.
Welcome to the dark side.
So,
it smokes as good as it makes you feel.
So, folks, we are going to try to squeeze in our last two stories here. Our first last story is social media quizzes are actually a data collection mining scam. The Better Business Bureau has just issued a warning about data mining. While not all social media quizzes are data mining collection scams, the Better Business Bureau urges you to be careful what you share on those tests. The answers can be used to steal your identity or enable a scammer to impersonate you to your friends and family. There are several things you can do prior to participating in the test. Before answering a quiz, figure out who created it. Is it a brand you trust? Adjust your privacy settings so you know if your information is shared, you can see who's sharing it. And 3, also, don't give answers to common security questions. Be cautious if the questions in a quiz ask for things like your mother's maiden name, the street you grew up on, previously owned vehicles, favorite foods, pets, or the name of your high school. Hackers could take over your computer through the 10-year challenge. So just to let you all know, you know things may just seem like, oh, this is a fun Facebook thing. Oh, I'm participating in. There are scammers that use that information.
Do that 10-year challenge.
Huh?
So glad I did the 10-year challenge.
It's more than just a 10-year challenge. Like, it's the personality challenge.
Yeah.
It's the, what sign are you challenge.
What Marvel
person?
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, it's
what word really describes you?
Yeah.
You know, what cat are you? You know, pick your toe and find out, you know, which weather's best for you.
Yeah.
Those are the ones we're talking
Will
about.
you find love in 2022? All right, you guys. All right. You guys have any more to add on that?
Well, I just want to let people know. Just have your antennas up. When you're dealing with those tests, don't ever think that anything on social media just stays within the confines of said social media. Take the approach, question everything. Question everything.
Places he kills, don't think it won't happen to you, because that's when it will.
Right, exactly. That's how I felt about when my dad passed away from cancer. I was like, not him. This touch people that don't go to the gym. Like he's Superman, But at any given time, anything can happen. That's what scares me about this story with the police, because at any given time, anything can happen. So, talking about that, Sarge, our final story.
All right, so our final story, we might be in for a treat with a V-Day special.
Hey!
All right, so what happens when an endearing Southern charmer battles a soulfully Philly jaunt, hit for hit? We got a versus matchup between R&B heavyweights Anthony Hamilton and Music Soul Child. All right, the show will begin with a DJ battle at 5:30, 8:30 Eastern time, and the main event is set to kick off at 9:15 Eastern time.
All right.
All right. The news was confirmed on Monday. They'll face off February 15th live at Avalon Hollywood in a Valentine's Day versus special. All right. So tickets for the event are now available.
Oh, tickets.
You can get tickets to this event. Just wear your mask and show your vaccination card.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so only the vaccinated shall be able to. Well, you
yeah.
know what? It's okay. You know what? They shouldn't take anybody from New York or Florida, seeing as though they both had ridiculous amounts of people selling fake cards and registering them with their states. So I would say Swiss. Make sure them people ain't coming from New York or Florida.
Yeah, they're going to have to redo everybody in New York's vaccination.
Right. Everybody got to go get your shot done again.
Redo.
No, that's how I Am Legend happens.
I love this. The last singers that they had on was on Shaka Khan. I wasn't too thrilled about that.
These are two crooners of our generation.
Yo, yes, I am, yes, and
sung me into a few bedrooms.
Look, I'm
lean, man.
This is going to be a Netflix and chill night.
I do feel like Anthony Hamilton's gonna get washed though.
He is gonna get washed.
He is.
He
is.
He's still giving out
the
that.
only one that feels like this is an unfair fight.
Yo, he is.
No.
After the fourth song,
Why they give him 10-ounce gloves?
yo, after the fourth song, we're gonna be like, what song is this?
Right.
Look.
Oh, they went to deep cuts. right to deep cuts.
They're going to start bringing out some features. You're going to be like, he was on
Right, that's what
He's
it
gonna
is.
have to.
And he got a lot of features though.
Well, yes,
he got a lot of
yes.
features, but music got hits.
Like, why didn't they do Music and Neo? I would have
That
loved.
would have been nice.
I would have loved to see Music and Neo.
I'm be singing all. Y'all gonna see me dancing. I might go live. Listen, I might go live myself. I might be competing with them. Cause I'm just gonna be singing next to them. Sexy.
Yo,
Feel right.
Yo, I want to see a local versus. I would love to see a local versus. I'm gonna put it out there. Swim Good versus Third Power.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yo, and they just sing covers. Just sing. Get your 10 best covers.
Right.
And man,
I like that.
Oh, now we might be able to compete then, dog.
Bro.
Hold on, we might be able to compete. We might be able to compete now. Don't throw us out the mix.
We're going to have to find a location because, first of all, Swim Good got 8 people. And then Third Power Family Soul got another 12 people.
hey, we can add in them and make it a trifecta.
Right, them the collective.
Oh, man, just
all this black band.
And we can do it at the Ware Center.
At the Ware Center.
Oh my goodness!
It's going down. Let's put it
We
together.
know y'all watching too.
We
Don't
gonna
steal our
show
idea.
you who cares at the Ware.
Just to let you all know that we will be giving out another 4-pack of tickets tomorrow, folks. We are giving away another 4-pack of tickets tomorrow for the Stories and Song in the oral tradition at the Ware Center. This is a family fun event. At noon, you have the free family fun festivities. And then at 1 o'clock, you have Charlotte Blake Austin, who will be sharing stories and songs in the oral tradition. This is a celebration of Black History Month at the Ware Center. So, folks, call in tomorrow at 9 o'clock with the answer. You have to tune in at the top of the show tomorrow to hear what the question is
You better
going
get
to be.
your BSAT stuff together.
Get the BSATs and all that together. So, folks, again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Before we sign off, Lady L.
Oh, man, I wasn't ready. Well, guys, listen, thank you
ready.
so much for watching, for tuning in. Hey, listen, if you didn't already, go ahead and make sure that you share the stream. And go on ahead and visit our website, www.thetcpnetwork.com. Don't forget to check out Music and Sounds with Trinice. It is a musical vlog where she does interviews with varying hip-hop and other musical guests. So go on ahead, check that out. Again, visit our website, www.thetcpnetwork.com. Again, guys, I'm so glad that you joined us. And guess what? It's freaking Black History Month. I'm so excited. Y'all see my books? Y'all see my books? Look, I was going to start pulling out some questions, right, for our BSATs. But listen, don't forget, can't wait to see you this Friday. I don't want to see you on the stream. I want to see you live and in person. This Friday at the Crispus Attucks Community Center for week 5 of the Health Equity Now Music Festival, brought to you by our Black Lady Doctors. Yes, the ladies over at Patients Are Waiting, helping them to, as they eliminate health disparities by increasing diversity in medicine. And before I let you go today and kick it over to my handsome husband, co-host, and the Sarge, I just want y'all to know our Black formation for today, as we go over these banned books. Racism is alive and well in America. When Barack Obama was elected the first Black president, racism didn't suddenly die. It simply evolved to thrive publicly in the form of legislation and policies that mesh bigoted ideologies with whitewashed ignorance. Over to the desk.
Hey. Listen up. Once again, it was another great show, a tantalizing Tuesday,
Yeah,
I call it. Or when I make my perks bump, I call it a tantalizing Tatty Tuesday, because I'm tatty. Call me daddy. So baby dolls, baby boys, princes, princesses, kings, queens, you, he, she, they, we baby. I'm going to leave y'all with something with this to start y'all Black History Month. Not, in the words of James Baldwin, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Yeah, have a good day, y'all.
Oh man, y'all are dropping a whole bunch of knowledge. Just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, we have our setup on Friday. Come on down and join us tomorrow. We'll be giving away some more tickets. And then this Saturday, we are actually going to be doing our exhibition game for this upcoming basketball season. We will be partnering with the Red Rose Thunder once again, so you'll be able to tune into TCP on Saturdays for your spring professional basketball. Folks, we also want to thank everyone that has voted for us. We are officially nominees for Podcast of the Year.
Hey.
So Want to thank you for that. But it doesn't stop there. We need folks to vote us to win. We thank you all for the nomination, but that is only halfway there. Now we need people to vote for us to win. Let's bring it home. Let's set the standard. And podcast of the year. Really looking forward to that, and everything else the African American Alliance does here in Lancaster. Folks, happy Black History Month. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel.
Go be black on purpose.
This is Assad. This is your penny.com Health Minute. In part 2 of our healthcare terminology, we begin with the phrase out-of-pocket maximum, which is the most money in the form of deductibles, co-pays, and co-insurances you can pay each year, regardless of how much medical care you use. Do you need prescription medication? Well, penny.com has provided a convenient way for you to look at the plans you're considering to see how much your prescription could cost. Network is also a key term you will continuously see while navigating penny.com. Your network is compiled of healthcare providers and facilities your insurer has contracted with. Do you want to include your doctor in your plan? No worries. You can use Penny's provider directory to see if your provider is included in your plan. Signing up for healthcare coverage can be intimidating.